I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 111, and I'm super duper excited to be here with you guys today. Just got back in town from Phoenix, Arizona, where we had an incredible conference, and actually was blessed to speak on stage in front of thousands of people. A few thousand were live, and then another thousand, not thousand, but a few thousand were virtually, and it was nerve wracking, right? And I've spoken on stage in front of 10,000 before, so it wasn't speaking in front of people. It was just that I wanted to do it in excellence, and I was putting pressure on myself. I was putting pressure on myself to deliver in a very strong way. And so that's the part that was making me nervous, is just knowing that what I could say could have an impact on someone's life. And so hey, we got it done. It's over with, and we're back and ready to make some big things happen. But listen, we also had Eric Thomas, ET, Dr. Thomas, the hip hop preacher, at our convention, and he did a phenomenal job. And I actually just want to talk about some of the things he said because I thought they were so powerful. And uh, hey, one day I would love to have him on this show, right? And so we're gonna work on that. But you know, hey, I'm gonna just share a few gems and nuggets that he shared at the conference. One of the things that he said that I thought was interesting, because I've never heard anyone do this before, is he said, what at what age do you want to die? And I was thought that's different. Hadn't really been asked that. And so, I don't know what everyone else chose, but I said 110. Like, for me, past 100 would be like sweet. But then an extra 10 years, man, that would be awesome, right? After that is a bonus. And by the way, I want to be in my right mind too. I want to be 110 looking like I'm 80 or 60, right? Still driving, still traveling, still moving and grooving, and making things happen. Not because I have to, but just because I want to, right? Just because I want to continue to have impact every day, significance, legacy, right? But that's one of the things he talked about. He says, look, so what are you going to do with the rest of the time? Like, from here until that day, what are you going to do with the rest of the time? He says, we all are going to die, but we all will not be legends. He said, we all will die, but when will we live? And I just thought those are powerful. We talked about those type of concepts here on this podcast. And so, that's why he does videos every single day, and he does a lot of the things that he does, because he wants to continue to leave a inheritance, a legacy, right? Not just money. You can leave money, but one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I thought, how awesome would it be that one day my great great grandkids can say, wow, my great great grandfather left all this that I can listen to. I get to know who he was, right? And it's not just photos, and it's not just videos. I mean, nothing wrong with videos or photos, but to be able to say, wow, I can learn from my great great grandfather. I see the success that he had, and he dropped jewels and nuggets along the way for me to pick up, right? generations later, to me, that's powerful. That's legacy. And also, of course, I still got these books I'm gonna get out of me, but I'm not gonna keep talking about them. I'm gonna get it done. But just legacy is a big word for me. Whenever I go to funerals, I think about legacy all the time. And you see all the people who show up for somebody. Um, you often wonder who would show up at yours, right? By the way, there's this poet out of Arizona, and he has this phrase. I hope I don't butcher it, but um, he says, what will your life like? Will it be something beautiful, or will people have to get up and lie at your funeral?" Right? And that's just what we're talking about is being in a position where we can live our best life, right? Where we can give on a whole nother level. So, he talked about our time is now. That was our theme. And he said now is no opportunity wasted. And man, we waste a lot of time often, right? Because we're distracted, and one of the things we got to do is be distracted from the distractions, right? But let me backtrack too. Um, Living 110 years, I also want to be healthy. We talked about that on this podcast. Because he talked about living a triple double life, and that was spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And you guys remember I had Kimberly Morgan on, and we talked about what's the point of having a long life if you're going to be sick for most of it. And just yesterday, I was at an event, and this lady, she was talking about certain things about food, and she asked if I eat these certain foods, right? And I was like, no, I don't eat that, and I don't eat that, and I wasn't trying to be like bougie or anything like that, but there's just certain things that I just don't eat now. And no stretch of the imagination am I a vegan. And by the way, nothing wrong with being a vegan, but just from some of the things that I've studied, there's certain meats that I just don't eat, or just certain foods that I just don't eat. Right? Now, am I perfect in how I eat? Not at all, not by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do realize that we dig our grave with our teeth. And if I want to live a long life, I have to take corresponding actions, right? Based on what eating, exercising, what you drink, and um, and also sleep. And that's the area that I still got to work on because my mind just be going and I be up, right? But we'll get a handle on that. But the point is, um, you know, uh, if we want to live this long life and we want to have impact and we want to have success, we want to be free. That's what this podcast is all about. It's code freedom, right? Um, he said two things that will help you have success. Number one, you got to have the right product, but number two, you got to be the right person with the right product. And I think that's so key because we talk about that a lot on this podcast as well. Is it's not what you get, it's who you become, right? It's not the millions that you make, it's who you become in the process of making those millions. Because guess what? You won't be paid the millions if you don't become the right person, right? And once you become that person, no one can take it away from you, right? And so we've talked about passive income and leverage income, residual income, and just having multiple flows of income and opportunities available that give you a life of freedom. But you may ask sometimes, well, where do you find these types of opportunities? Well, look, when you become the right person, those opportunities come to you, right? So we have to do the work. That's one of the big things he talked about too is doing the work. Most people are just trying to avoid the work. We got to do the work, right? When you do the work, the opportunities come to you, right? When you do the work, things just start to shift and change. He was talking about how he had to pivot because he's a speaker, right? He speaks at events, and they pay him a lot of money to do that, right? But in this pandemic, when a lot of events were canceled and we did virtual, look, no one wants to pay a six figure check to have you speak on a Zoom, right? So he had to pivot a little bit, and he talked about how he got deals coming to him like book deals and voiceovers, like for instance, maybe a cartoon character or something like that. I don't know. But the point is, he became the right person. He added so much value out there. All the videos, all the content that he's given, and that's just kind of what made me think of, am I putting enough content out there? Am I having enough impact? And that's why, this year I said, you know what, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I am going to make a shift, and I am going to add as much value as I can possibly give. I want to give it all away. Right. And that's where this podcast came in. uh, Hey, we're gonna do a whole lot of other things. Stay tuned, keep watching, keep paying attention, keep following me, because we got a lot of value to give. But anyway, there's just so many great things he talks about when he was there. Developing the whole you. We talked about that, living a triple double life. We all have advantages too. Sometimes you may think that your weaknesses are your weaknesses, but really your weaknesses are advantages in some ways, because you have something, or you have a certain fingerprint, and nobody else in the world has that fingerprint, right? So knowing that, what makes you you, what makes you different, right? Like there's a gentleman, I think his name is Nick. I can't think of his last name, but he doesn't have arms or legs. And anyone could say, well, that's a weakness, but he made it a strength, because now he goes around the world inspiring people, right? So my point is, um, you know, we have all these advantages, but we don't take advantage of our advantages. We don't use our advantages to the best of our ability, right? So again, there's so many things I could talk about that he mentioned. One thing I'll end with is having a sense of urgency, because without urgency, desire loses power. That's what he said. Without urgency, desire loses power. And we've seen it where you start a project, you start something, and then the excitement is there, but then soon you get enough challenge happening, the excitement starts to wear off, the belief starts to wear off, the next thing you know, the desire goes away, because you stop taking action, you stop having a sense of urgency. So again, so many nuggets that he shared, so powerful. And I hope you guys are getting some value from this. But the biggest thing I could say is do the work, and have impact, and live a life of significance, where it's not just about what you can achieve, but how can you uplift other people, right? How can we make other people's lives better? And when you do that, you are becoming valuable. And when you increase the value that you bring, the income is going to chase you down. And it's not even about the income, it's about the impact, but the income comes with it. So the higher the impact, the higher the income. So listen, guys, and also the more freedom you can enjoy, because now you have opportunities at your fingertips that can provide more experiences, more time, more things that can happen on a positive level in your life. So listen, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 111, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. Take care, take charge. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, the Code Freedom Community, where we engage and with each other, and just excited about life, and just can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you over the top. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.